Welcome to Season 2 of All Things Music, where I'm giving you, the viewers and listeners, an all-access pass, and I'm pulling back the curtain on the music business. I've reached out to all my music business friends, and they've agreed to let loose and be real with me. So all aspects of their career, relationships, big wins, and hard losses, nothing is off the table. You never know where these convos will go, so hold on and let the hangout begin. Welcome to tonight's show, where our guest is Carl Nappa. That's right, he was Nelly's engineer for years. He was in on sessions with Michael Jackson, Prince, Stevie Wonder, and more. Come on, y'all, we about to go get the grease and the dirt and the juice right here backstage. Come on, let's go. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We are here with my boy. Woo! Yes, indeed. His name is Carl Nappa. My boy, man. Look, he's done the last 2 CDs for me. Y'all look, y'all ain't even ready for what's about to happen. So let me just go ahead on and just get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Nappa.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Sean, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you for coming in, bro. Look, man, let's just get right into it. So I know you, you don't really do the whole Creole and French thing, so this would be beautiful. So the way I start every one of my shows is I get my guests to say, allons manger. So say that for me.
What am I saying?
Allons,
am I going to find out?
Allons manger. It's not nothing bad. You know, I wouldn't be saying nothing bad on, you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. Go on. I know we like that, but nah, we ain't like that. No, you know what I'm saying? Allons manger.
Allons manger.
Oh, man, that's good, dude.
Oui.
You got a little French in you, bro?
Nope.
you just date a French chick?
Nope, I just know how to say oui.
Oh, oui. But you knew that it was French, though, yeah?
That's it. That's all I got.
Hey, bro, that's good. So what that is that means let's eat. Right?
Yes.
That means let's eat. Allons manger. And so so now what we want to do is we want to, I got to ask you this. What is your all-time favorite food?
Oof.
All-time favorite. Man, you know me and you, we like to eat.
Favorite. So, obviously I was brought up in an Italian household. My mom.
I never would have guessed that. I never would have guessed that.
Never, right? Grandmother, great aunts, all those folks, parent, my dad was a good cook. Everybody was a good cook. I also spent 20-something years in the studio eating the crappiest food in the world, right? Late night dinners, pizzas, and stuff like that.
Yep.
All-time favorite. It changes. I have my go-tos. I have my staples. But, good plate of pasta never, just something just makes me feel good.
Home.
The home cooking, and the closer it tastes to the family sauce, my mom's sauce, the better. And
Okay. Oh, good one. Because we had this conversation.
Yep.
Explain sauce.
Sauce is gravy. Red sauce, tomatoes cooked.
See, you say sauce and gravy.
Hours on a stove, or 25 minutes, 10 minutes. It could be a jar. I'm not a hater. I can throw a jar in there and every now and again smile.
But y'all call it gravy?
I call it sauce. But,
sauce.
A lot of family call it gravy and stuff like that.
Okay, sweet. Okay, so sauce, pasta. That's what makes you. That's what does it for you.
Yeah, just a nice little simple,
Okay, I can feel that. Okay, so now
what? There was a dude once. I gotta tell the story.
But wait, there's more.
Doing this session, and a friend of mine comes into town, and we're working like crazy. I mean, 15, 18 hours a day. And at one point, he was like, I got to run to the store and grab some stuff. Thinking, I get some waters for the studio or whatever. And he came back and made the most unbelievable dinner. Sauce, red beans and rice, what else did you make that day? You remember? And then you called me.
You talking me?
Yeah. The first mix.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, was his stuff better than mine?
So,
Nah, what I did was I went and got cubed beef, like beef cubes. So I made stew meat. Well, we call it stew meat here. I don't know, they call it beef cubes up there. So I made stew meat, white beans, and rice, and what else? What else did I do? I did something else.
you did a vegetable too, I think.
Yeah. Oh, anyway. But yeah, just big old things and bring it over in big pans. Everybody in the studio was like, and then everybody was like,
We've been working crazy hours, and it was just, to have a, home cooked meal in the studio is something special. Usually you forget to eat, and you end up being there at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning thinking, oh crap,
I didn't eat. I didn't eat. And the biggest thing for me was, at that point I didn't really have anything to do but be like, okay, I like this. And because you've already chastised me for wanting to help in asking questions, and so I understood I needed to get out your way. So let me go cook.
I wouldn't say chastise you.
I was chastised. You take every opportunity whenever we're around friends to be like, and this guy, he's over my shoulder like, hey man, what you doing now?
I mean, that's kind of like what you were doing, but it's okay.
We were side by side, like just like we are now. Sit. Well, I'm sorry. Do it again.
What?
We were sitting side by side, and I'd ask a question because I want to know. I was like, so at this point, you being a hater because I'm trying to learn some stuff and learn from your years of wisdom, and you just don't want to tell me. You're like, what you doing right here? Why are you doing what you're doing? You're like, bro, let me work. Leave me alone. I'm like, okay, I see you, Carl. I see you. I ain't mad at you. I see you.
I took it like, why are you doing that? Meaning I was doing something wrong. Like, what?
No. I'm like, why are you doing that? I want to know.
Just the way we were communicating back
then.
Yeah. Click.
It took a couple sessions, and now you understand. Well, now you understand my language, and now I understand to stay out the way. You know what I'm saying? And because we got those nominations on that first rip, and then the second one came out really, really good as well. That comes out the 19th, June 19th, by the way. Called Came Through Pullin', Sean Ardwin and Creole Rock and Soul. Yes, indeed. But since we are where we are, I don't have to do it. I love going to St. Louis and staying for 5 days, because it's great to hang out and do the thing. But, I don't have to now because I implicitly trust your ear, and I trust that whenever you send it to me and I give you tweaks, you'll be like, I know what you're talking about, and boom, 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 and it's done.
Sure. But to also add to that is, I like when an artist comes in and sits with me.
Okay.
As much as I complain about it, be like, what's he asking for now? There's something to be said about someone saying, that's cool, but what about this?
Yeah. I know.
Could we do this? Or what if you added this? And what if you added that? And sometimes when you're tired and you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do it. And then you like try one thing, and you're like, wait, that was really cool. But if you do that, can I do this? And now we're on a tangent that we might not have been heading down, and I wouldn't have went there alone. You might not have went there alone, but together,
totally,
we find a new path around the hill.
It's team, man. It's team, man. It's total team.
Because I'm just gonna change it back to the way I want it, anyways, when you leave.
Exactly. Wait. Until you send it to them, like, hey, man, what happened? that wasn't like that when I left. Because I'm injured and I'm bruised. And I have really, really bad memories. You know what I'm saying? I was with a record label in which they took my art and they filtered it through their filter.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I say filtered through their filter, I don't mean they didn't like change the song, but they changed the harmonies.
Sure.
It's like wait, but that's not the melody. Why is the high part louder than the rest of the? And it had already been mastered, and they wasn't trying to go back and do nothing. I was pissed. It happened twice, bro. I was so mad. I was like, for never again will I allow that to happen.
Well, what's interesting you bring that up is as I was with some friends last night that I did a record for last year, and we're talking about doing a new record, and local band from St. Louis, the Manis Brothers, and they're self-financed. They've been doing it themselves, right?
Yep.
No label. And they were talking about, they heard these stories that, when certain bands get signed, that, the label says what songs to put on the record, what order they should be in. Oh, no, that lyric isn't good. And he was like, I just can't believe someone would tell me about my art. And I was like, whoa. Like, dude, you gotta understand where we came from. That was an everyday occurrence.
Every day.
You know, you'd have an A&R guy walk into the studio and be like, "Yeah, I'm not sure about that song. Wait, what? We're not even. We just started." You know, and then you deliver an album, and someone would say, "Nope, it's not done yet. Not done yet. Like, what am I going to do now?" You know, and as a producer, that's a rough one. As a mixer, when someone says, "I'm not sure about these mixes."
Yeah.
Haven't been fired, but someone just said that you're not any good. So it was rough in the day. Now with people self-financing and self-making their own albums, because look, we can put anything we want up on
quickly
an internet site or whatever and whatnot and distribute it digitally. Sometimes I feel, not with you, not most of my clients, not like that, right? People that I work with, but sometimes I'll get a lot of stuff here and there to just mix, right? That I feel all alone. Meaning, like, someone sends it in. I got a beautiful studio here in St. Louis, but someone might be in Europe or California or whatever, and I send it back like, "Oh, it's great." Wait, what? Like, no notes? I mean, I know I'm good, but
right.
And then I start to second guess it. Like, well, do I need to go back and check? Was the second verse the same level? Of course it is, but you know what I mean.
So when they say, "Oh, it's great," they never come back.
They never no more changes.
Oh wow!
And I feel like I can mix something today, and then tomorrow I could do a whole different mix on it. It's like taking a picture. If I take a picture of you right now, Sean, this is what it's going to look like. Tomorrow it might be a different little light on your head. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? Keep it. But it's art at the end of the day. It's an art form to it. Yeah, there's a lot of technical things that we do to get to certain points and to hit certain marks. But it's like you said, those guys took your song, and in their ear, they heard that high harmony being the main one.
And they don't play Zydeco music.
And they also didn't write the song.
Right?
And now when you wrote it with the main melody and then high harmony and probably low harmony and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah, and it's like, then some of them were like 4-part harmonies, and then you got the highest part, the loudest. And it's like, well, I'm questioning your ear at this point, sir. I mean, I know you got Grammys on the wall and stuff, but maybe that's how they do it in the rock and roll world. But in the soul world with all these black folk, we ain't putting the high harmony part primary. We just not doing that, sir. But at the end of the day, and here's the other thing I learned though. Even with that tweak that just just chapped me, right? That CD got Amazon.com top 100 CDs in 2001. And that's before iTunes and digital and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Amazon.com was selling CDs, right? And we got top 100 out of every CD that was released in 2001. We got top 100.
Yeah.
Which is big, and that CD, you know what I'm saying? That stuff went all over the place. And then the same thing, he actually did it to me, I think he might have done it to me 3 times. Yes,
really?
He did it to me 3 times. Because the 3rd time, the way he did it was he changed my bass drum. So he left my harmonies alone, but then my bass drum, which is going doo-doo, doo-doo, he made it go boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, I was pissed. But that CD took me all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon.com, 2001. Okay. Sometimes you have to lean not into your own understanding. I had to let it go.
Know that a good song's a good song.
And that's pretty much what it was.
Whether the bass drum's going boom, 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 boom.
Exactly.
High harmonies there, like, a lot of times we obsess over these things because we know how we want it to sound or how we think it should sound.
Right.
But the truth is, people just hear a good song and they like it.
That's right.
They can't tell you it's because of the
some of the best songs. Some of the best songs are the worst recorded on earth.
Yeah.
The worst written, the worst performances. But people are just like, oh man, I love that song.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song.
The productions that I do and the things that I do, I want everything to be at a super high level and sound great and all that stuff. So I will obsess over all those little elements because I firmly believe that if you do all these little things right along the way, the whole overall is going to be much better.
Fire. Yeah, exactly. And that's why whenever I was telling you about my project and you were like, well, bro, what I look like, chopped liver? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, first of all, I didn't think I can afford you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and I was like, but I what I respected was the fact that you came from the industry. By the way, if y'all don't know, and we'll talk about that a lot later, this man has 79 million records sold, over 79 million records sold. And I like to joke, 79 million and one, because he did mine. 79 million records sold and 39, two, the one I bought and the one you bought. And 39 gold, platinum, and multi-platinum and diamond albums.
Two diamonds.
2 diamond albums. Man, that's huge. And
Not bad.
Explain to the people what those levels are. Gold is
half a million in America. Platinum is 1 million records sold in America. And obviously multi-platinum is variations of that. So if you were to say 3 times platinum, that would be 3 million.
Yeah. So what were the two diamonds? Yeah, and you can be petty. You can be petty.
I was messing with you. Diamond is a 10. So when you hit the 10 million mark.
And what are those 2 10 million mark sellers?
One of them is NSYNC, No Strings Attached.
Mm-hmm.
I recorded and mixed a song called I'll Be Good For You on that record.
Okay.
And then the second one is with Nelly. He did a remix for a song called Cruise, Florida Georgia Line. And I recorded Nelly's vocal for that and submixed it all down and sent it to the guys to put it into the album. And that was a lot of fun that night.
So because you engineered that, you got the credit for that.
Yeah.
Along with the other engineers.
Yes.
So what you and I talked about the other day, we can still do. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
No, I didn't mix that.
Don't bring that up. Don't bring it up. Let it go. Let it go. I'm just digging. Okay, so look. So Carl, how'd you come into engineering, bro?
Good question. So I was a musician, played guitar. Coming up in the early late teens, I should say, I fell in love with jazz. And one of our sponsors right there.
Hopefully. Send me some smart water, babe. Let's go.
Need everything I can do to get there. And so I was, just learning about the instrument. I just fell in love with this art form and started playing, jazz, learning about that. I started at University in Massachusetts, UMass Lowell. They have a tremendous music program and recording program as well. Mm-hmm. But I was still into music and recording and joined the big band, playing all that stuff. And I went in the studio one day. A friend of mine played upright bass, was going to transfer to North Texas State. They have that 1 o'clock jump band.
Where them gurus was.
Right?
Where them dogs was.
Couldn't afford to fly down there to audition, so they said that we could send a CD down for him. So we just went into this little crappy, hole-in-the-wall studio. And someone's basement, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Just plugged in, played. No, I'm like a freshman in college, right? Going to school for this recording thing, which I didn't really know that much about recording, but it was more something to fall back on if the music thing didn't come through, right?
For sure, backup plan. Everybody's thinking backup plan.
Especially when folks want to have a backup plan too.
Especially when they keep promoting that all.
Especially being who I am, which just kind of goes blindly and runs. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Carl, you gotta have a backup plan, sweetie. You gotta have a backup plan.
And so I remember playing the 3 or 4 songs we played. Live jazz, simple stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Walk into the little control room and just being instantly blown away. Like, what the heck? What is? How come it sounds like this? Why? And I was just, I'm talking smitten. And I was done. From that day forward, I started realizing, like, there's something to this.
Right.
And I was teaching guitar at a music school, music store in this little town of Woburn, Massachusetts. And I met this guy, Joe Mullins, who still owns, Performance Music Center. So he's fighting it out with like the guitar centers and whole time I'm doing what I'm doing, 27 years, he's having the store there. And I used to teach guitar in the back. And one of the teachers, the drum teachers, was a guy named Anthony Resta from Boston area, a local producer in Boston. Comes up to me one day and he goes, "Hey, the engineer I work with all the time hasn't been feeling well. We need someone to kind of set up mics. Don't you go to school for that? Would you like to come down to the studio?" Yes, I would.
Yes.
And so I met him and his partner Bob St. John, and I started working for those guys. And I would just go out to the studio and just know nothing. And I would just sit there in the back, keep my mouth shut. If they needed something, I'd run and grab a cable or a mic. And the studio was pretty far from where I lived. It was, over an hour, I'd say. Maybe a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And the owners were super nice. And they would say, "Hey, instead of driving home, just bring a sleeping bag. Sleep out in the live room." It's this old, like 1700
They
farmhouse.
were setting you up because that's the life.
Sean and I used to wake up early, sneak into the house. I don't wake anybody up because the whole thing creaked. You know what I mean? It's old.
Yeah.
I'd clean up, shower,
and
I'd
it was wooden.
every day. Like, even know I went in there.
It was wooden.
Wooden.
Ooh, great sound.
And then I would go down to the what do you call it? I forget the name of the store, but it was like a grocery store down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how you can, like, I shouldn't say this on TV, but you pick out like some donuts and whatnot, you put in the bag, and you walk up to the counter and they say, "Well, what do you got in there?" I'd be like, "A donut." And the little girl would be like, "That's 25 cents." You smile, give her a quarter.
Yeah.
And I'd have bad stuff falling out. And I'd get to the studio and I'd lay it all out.
So wait, say how you said it. A donut? A donut?
I don't want to get arrested stealing 10 donuts. And they would wake up, get going, and coffee and donuts. Not every morning, but a good amount of mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how'd you get that? We don't pay you to come here. Don't worry about it. I got it.
I got it.
Forget
about it.
And they started to like me. And I started to work really hard. And the guy Bob St. John did a lot of work with this band called Extreme, which was they're still together.
Yeah.
They started taking me around the world and the country with them to make records. They would always do a record in Florida because they wanted to get out of Boston cold. And one thing led to another, and we ended up in New York making a record with a guitar player, this guy named Nappa.
Yep.
And told him one day I wanted to stay in New York. And he set up an interview with me at the Hit Factory. And the rest is history. I stayed there for years.
Wow. Okay, so
In
that's...
fact, anybody doesn't know, it was a studio in New York City had 10 studios.
Yeah. Look, we're going to get back to that because right now we're going to take a short break and let our sponsors talk about it. We'll be right back.
I understand that we had a deep connection, yeah. And I appreciate the love and the care, but right now you've got to let me leave, yeah.
Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition with 2 locations to better serve you. We thank all of you for continuing to support us during these trying times. Now, more than ever, we know how far our perfectly seasoned fried chicken, fish, or seafood will go to satisfy your cravings or just give you a little comfort. We are serving all of our menu classics to go until we get the all clear. So call ahead or stop by our Enterprise Boulevard and Common Street locations and get the taste you crave. Ball's Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition.
Hey everyone, I'm Dee Dee McKinley from Christian World. I just wanted to invite you to join us online for our services each Sunday at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. We have a powerful time of worship, followed by an encouraging message from Pastors Jerry and Hope Snyder. You can watch on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, or on our website at christianworld.cc.
We are back with Carl Nappa. It's my dude. It's my dude. It's my dude. Okay, so man, you are a great interviewee. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand. Like we'll talk like for hours, just like we're talking right now. So it's so, and we have, and it's so smooth because my first question was gonna be, after you told me how you got into engineering, my first question was gonna be, what's your first real job engineering? You kind of broached on that. So your first real job was on the road recording Extreme.
No, first real job was with this guy Bob, basically. So I was interning, and then Bob St. John, the engineer that I met through Anthony, hired me as his main assistant.
Okay,
or his assistant, I should say. He paid me direct.
And where was that?
In Massachusetts. He didn't own a studio. He always just rented studios. So we kind of rented studios around that area. At the time, there was probably a good, 8 to 10 studios in the Boston area, and we frequented like 3 or 4 of them.
Okay, sweet. So you're working for this guy, going back and forth. Then you get the job with the guy to take you around the world with Extreme?
That was the same dude.
Same dude. Okay, sweet. So you go around the world with Extreme. First of all,
he started taking me everywhere with him. So once I kind of, showed him what he taught me the way he likes to record, and got to a point where I would just show up. He would tell me kind of what he wanted to do. I'd get there with the band, get the mics run, cables out, everything set up. Bob would come in and just start working. So, when he started traveling with Extreme, like when they would do those records, he's like, I'm bringing Carl. And it was awesome for me because not only did I get to learn these studios in Boston, but we went down to Criteria, New River. We went to Abbey Road one time. We went to LA a bunch of times,
Yeah.
So New York.
So for y'all who don't know, Abbey Road is where the Beatles recorded and all the major European artists, well, English artists. LA is everybody. So now, I want you to go back a little bit, Carl, because this is all things music. But when musicians and everybody watch these things, I like to stop and give the teachable moments.
Sure.
So the guy said, I'm going to take Carl. Why did he say that? And I'm going to give you a little triangle when you do it. Go ahead, say it. Why did the guy say he was going to take you around?
Because I worked my ass off.
Look, and then now you say why? Because he didn't have, you made yourself
indispensable. Right? Did I cut you off?
I wanted you to do it. I waited. You made yourself indispensable, and you worked your butt off.
But also, and it was just my work ethic. My dad was a hard worker, and I guess I learned that from him. My grandfather. I'm not afraid to put in the hours. So when I was even just interning, like to me to sit in the room for 10, 12 hours, I'm fine.
Yeah. Because you
watch it. But I also knew how to conduct myself in that room. I wouldn't be like listening to them talk about a part and go, man, that's out of tune. That's out of time.
Yeah. You ain't earned. You haven't earned the right. You haven't earned the right yet, right?
Yeah. I've said some things before that when I'd catch it like, oh, I can't believe I said that. We all do.
Yeah.
But I was talking to a good friend of mine's spending some time with me right now in St. Louis. I tried to get him to come by today. We'll see if he comes by. Tony Black. You met Tony before.
Yeah, I met Tony. Yeah. He brought his Grammy with him.
Yeah, he likes to rub that in my face. But, we're talking about, in the Hit Factory days of just that you don't walk out of a room when someone's doing playback. You don't walk in the middle of a take. You don't say anything. And I think back then there was some fear in it. Because you do the wrong thing and you're gone. I mean, there were 10, 15, 20 people waiting for my job when I was...
Okay, wait. Okay, I think you skipped Hit Factory, You're at Hit Factory.
A lot. Yeah, that was a lot of skipping.
Yeah, you skipped all the way back to whenever you were actually like working.
Yeah.
Right? So Hit Factory. Explain to people what Hit Factory is, how significant that thing is.
So the Hit Factory was just was a recording studio on 54th Street in Manhattan. 2 buildings. One building had 5 studios in it, and the other one had 5 studios and 3 or 4 mastering suites. And for me, that was like the goal was to get to New York City. And I had been assisting for Bob for about maybe 2.5, just shy of 3 years, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I liked being an assistant. I thought I was really good at it. But in my career, what I've noticed is that I'll get to a certain point and I'll be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
I want to do that. I want to do that job. That old saying is, you dress for the job you want, not the one you have.
Bottom line.
Well, I'd be like, I want to sit in the chair. Like I can set all this stuff up, but I want to take the car out for a drive.
Yeah, man.
And so I knew that if I stayed in Boston, I knew everybody. I knew the studios. I knew the bands. I knew where I could get equipment. I knew, I was very comfortable.
So you're from Boston?
From Boston originally. And I knew that I needed to try something new. That old saying, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, the whole New York thing. And I didn't know a person in there, right? I was married at the time, and Annie, her family's from New Jersey. So, there was a connection to that area. But we had went to New York a lot to visit and stuff like that, and we were dating, and then we got married in New York, but never lived there, and we just went for it, and it was tough because I was very comfortable, like, here I am making these records that are getting on the radio and as an assistant, and we could have all grown old together, I would have been the assistant, Bob would have been the engineer, Nuno the producer, but at some point you want to spread your wings.
You want to grow.
Does, right?
When you're green, you grow, and when you're ripe, you ride. And your comfort zone is your broke zone. So if you're always depending on somebody else's hand to hand you the food, you know what I'm saying, you can never get what you like. You can just get what they give you.
It's true, right?
Very true.
So,
wait. Things to know.
Yeah, so I went to work there and rose up pretty quickly because of the experience I had, and within 7 to 9 months, I was engineering.
Wow, that's pretty fast at the Hit Factory.
Yeah.
So explain. So I had a question. So how was it back in the day in New York City, in a recording studio that recorded major artists? I don't think people really get like the everything that's with it.
You mentioned major artists. At that time, 10 rooms every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, sometimes double sessions. And at the time, there was 16 or 15 assistants for 10 rooms. And a lot of times, you'd be finishing a session at, 3 in the morning, knowing that you had to start a downbeat at 10 a.m. And a downbeat is what we refer to as when the actual button gets hit and record.
Right.
So you're not showing up at 10 a.m. to start laying your microphones out. That means you have to be there by, 8:30 for a big band setup. You know what I mean? Let's say if I have a 5-piece rock band I'm setting up, I can't do that in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? You're talking microphones on all the instruments, headphones, setting up the console. This is pre-Pro Tools, so we were on analog tape. The tape machines had to be aligned. You had
to have enough tape.
Huh?
You had to have enough tape.
Enough tape. We had a lot of tape. Let me trust. We had a tape block it was full. But so you're finishing at 3 in the morning. I know I have to start setting up at 8. What is that? 5 hours? It's going to take me.
It's only 5 hours if you don't leave and you go to sleep there.
Yes, but if you're going to go home. Now I lived in the city. I was very fortunate. Couldn't afford cabs, so I would have to either walk or take the subway. So it's at least 30 minutes to get home.
So you don't go to sleep till 4, so that's only 4 hours sleep if you get. Well, that's only 3.5 hours sleep if you get up so that you can be leaving your house for 8 to get back to work.
No, to be at work at 8, you got to get up at 7 to rush to shower to get there, right? So a lot of times I had a backpack that had a fresh change of clothes, toothbrush in it, And so in the studio, we use a lot of packing blankets. You know what I mean? If you're
Yep.
moving, the ones with the little cotton in it to deaden sound.
Those are great blankets, by the way.
You would grab one and sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
The studio had a gym in it. It had a shower, or I was a membership across the street at a gym, and I just go shower there,
Yep.
grab something to eat, and so you'd get 4 hours of sleep.
You
Sometimes
get it.
you can get any.
Yeah, and also the wait, I had you said about the blankets and and also because it's really cold in the studio because it has to be because of all that heat generated by all of the gear.
Those consoles were
Yeah.
brutal.
That's some good sleep, man. When everybody's gone and everything's not working at full tilt, and the
You
AC
shut
kicks
the lights
in.
off, no outside light. Oh, it's a good sleep.
Choo!
But yeah, so I did that for a long time.
Long
I was on staff there as an assistant, like I said, and then I started getting engineering jobs, and they approached me to manage me. So I was managed by the Hit Factory for a good, bunch of years,
Yeah.
and so I've been associated with them my whole life. I remember I went down to Miami at some point a few years ago, and I was working out of Criteria, which they bought a bunch of years ago. Uncle Bob hooked me up with a room, and I had a production room upstairs and mixing out of the big rooms downstairs
Yeah.
before I came back to St. Louis. But you know what? The Germanos have always been fantastic with me. The old man Eddie, and then Troy. I'm still friends with Troy to this day. I know I can call, and if I'm in help, if I need help, or if he needs me, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like, that family's just been great to me. And
Yeah, man.
in this business, I think our acquaintances become our friends, right? Our business, because we just spend so much time doing our work that, unfortunately, like, relationships suffer and friendships suffer, and the people we see every day become,
That's your friends.
yeah.
Yep, just because they're there.
Yeah, those guys have always been real good to me, and they never fired me. So that was the joke. So the joke is that the reason I went to the Hit Factory is when I was traveling with Bob, would go from studio to studio, and I knew I wanted to go to New York, and I'd be like, "Hey, you're from New York? Like, where did you work?" Well, I was at the Hit Factory, but I got fired, so I went there. Don't go there, man. Those people suck. And when you tell me not to do something,
I'm gonna do it.
It's a character flow where I just want to do it even more. So if you wanted, I shouldn't even tell you this, but if you wanted something in the mix your way, you should be like, don't put the kick drum loud.
Yeah.
Don't put the kick drum loud. Can I swear in your TV show?
Yeah. It's whatever you want. You got to be who you are. It's about who you are. This is a backstage thing. This is like we were backstage, except you were in the studio and I got this green screen with the floating lights and the gold background going on with my logo right here.
But yeah, so that's where I wanted to work. I wanted to go there. I wanted to prove to myself that I wouldn't get fired.
So give me a really crazy story because you're being really generic and light, but people need to really understand that it was not only was it cutthroat. Back in those days, as far as like trying to get it, and so you can become the man, or like whenever there's a really good engineer or producer, there was no niceties. It was like, this is what I need, and why are you still in my face? you know what I'm saying?
There was no politeness back then for an assistant. It was constantly hazing. Forget about being an intern. We didn't have interns. They called them general assistants.
Right.
Eddie Germano didn't believe in people working for free. I mean, you might have been working for peanuts, but
Right,
you still
but
didn't
not
pay.
for free.
And we would do stupid stuff. Like, at one point there was this, the company called Dolby had the noise reduction system called SR.
Yeah.
It was really like the best, the Cadillac of noise reduction for tape machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell the intern, like, hey man, before the session, can you empty all the noise out of the Dolbys? You're like, just there's no such way, or can you go change the reverb chamber? Get the reverb out, put new reverb in. Just
But explain it though. You tell them that, and then you walk out.
yeah. It's like if you were a mechanic, you'd say, hey, get me a left-handed screwdriver. And the dude is so scared that they'll get fired that they go looking through all the tools,
Yeah. And
or
when they finally get it and they come back, couldn't find the Dolby.
Why would you even think that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of? Like, why would you do that?
If you want to be in this business, you need to get your stuff together.
And that's what assistants would do that to the generals, and then the engineers would bust the chops of the assistants. A funny story. I was doing this, assisting on this mix, and a lot of the guys would get burned out. You know what I mean? You're working
a lot,
15, 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you're just sitting there waiting for someone to tell you to do something, especially in a mix when someone's just doing something on the console. And so a lot of these assistants would roam the studio, and I remember like this engineer, his name was Paul something. It'll come to me. But he's mixing, and he keeps looking over at some of the outboard gear. And I knew, like, he's doing a vocal, so I was always paying attention to the session.
Right.
So I was always one step ahead. Like, I knew what he wanted. He's looking at this compressor, so he's going to want me to put it on the lead vocal. So he's looking at it. He's doing something on this side of the console. So I come around to the other where the patch bay is. And the patch bay is how we interconnect everything, like the old telephone things, like, oh, run, from going to this thing.
Right.
So I grabbed 2 patch cords, and I'm just sitting there waiting for him to tell me something. And so he looks, and he knows I'm behind him on the couch. So I could see him start to slide his chair, behind him to look for me. And then I could see his face when he looked at the couch and I wasn't there. And he was just bummed out, like, fuck, now I'm going to find this guy. And he keeps coming around to control him. And I'm literally at the patch bay with 2 patches. And he goes, what are you doing? Just waiting for you to tell me to patch something in? He's like, I thought I had to go find you. Yeah, give me the LA2A on track 24. Like, no problem. Like, and after that, he's like, hey, want to buy you lunch? Like, and he would start to request me. And what I realized in the early days is that, I wanted, because I learned so much from one person, I wanted to see how these other guys worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to, I wanted more sessions. I wanted to be the guy that when you came to New York, you thought about me. And I was very fortunate, it really worked in my favor. And I did a lot of sessions like that. And it was also, as I started to transfer into engineering, is when, actually when I first got there, a lot of the New York guys, assistants, didn't want to do hip hop. Or pop, because that's all New York was doing. They
Opportunity.
Opportunity. I just want to do rock and roll. Like, that's all I did was heavy metal.
Right, in Boston.
I'm like, ooh, I can mic guitars all I want. What's this? Like, I love this underground music. I love this stuff. So I wanted to do the hip-hop stuff, And so I had no problem doing those sessions. And I got a ton of work because I wanted to. And so when I started engineering, I just jumped right into it. And but I would do is it's kind of like with your record. Like, I had a background of rock and heavy and aggression, right? And I try to infuse that into some of the hip hop stuff. So the hip hop stuff, you have this big bottom and 808s and kicks and stuff. And then the keyboards sometimes sounded a little wimpy. So I try to toughen that stuff up and add that sensibility that I had from the rock stuff into that. And I kind of made a career out of being able to be a chameleon and go from genre to genre, from thing to thing. And, I remember funny thing is, I was somebody in New York, and they were asking me if I could make a gospel record. And I was like, I think so. Why not, right?
Why not?
And it's a lot different than this pop stuff and hip hop and rock. And I go, well, let me ask you a question. Do you guys have drums in gospel? Yeah, of course. Kick drum. I mean, are they gospel drums or are they drums? No, they're drums. Oh, I can record drums. And your guitars, like, anything special? Like, and I think by the 4th or 5th instrument, they got, okay, I get it.
Being a smart.
I can record an instrument's an instrument. It's how we use it in the genre and how it gets mixed is what makes that genre specific. And you have to learn that stuff. I think the first time we worked together, my mix was a little bit more pop and a little bit more in front. And then when you came in, you showed me that no, that kick has to be big.
Yeah, and big is relative. Big is relative, and because like I remember the first time I got it, I was like, we like Smoking the Bandit. We got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
We got there.
Oh yeah, man. But then when we kept talking, and I was talking to the producer, and he's like, "You think we can make that?" I said, "Look, bro." I said, if this is where we are, I know that when I get there, I can articulate what I need from him, And just the fact that I knew that like you said, I knew that if I was like, nah, man, this ain't it. You ain't got it. Just wait till I come. You're going to be like, oh, no, I'm going to kill this. You will love this mix. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that was a factor, so I wasn't worried. I was like, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool.
Well, what was great also is I got to get the meat and potatoes out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bus structures, the setup of the mix, all of that little technical stuff that sometimes just takes forever.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got there, we got super into the creative stuff fast.
Right.
And I think a lot of people miss the boat on that. And I shouldn't say that. That's a horrible thing to say.
But is it true?
It is true.
Okay.
Because when you set up a mix, you start with the foundation, the drums, the bass, and then you add the keyboards, this first floor of the house, right? I think of a Blayling house. The foundation is the drums and the bass. First floor is keyboards, guitars, all that stuff. And then the roof is the vocals and things like that. So if your house isn't built right, what's going to happen? It's going to lean, it's going to fall, it's going to have holes and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people, they get to that point where they put that roof on and they think they're done, man. You got to go back and you got to look for a crack and you got to make sure this thing is doing that and this is doing that and all those cool things. And I think that's really important. And if you listen to, technically, if you listen to mixes, sometimes that little stuff, keyboards will get lost or the I don't want to say fragility of an instrument, but the articulation of an instrument.
Yeah, the tender parts. Yeah, the tender parts.
When I listen to it, I want that mix to feel like it's coming around me. I can reach in and go, oh, look at that tambourine over there. Look at this guitar, and the vocals right in front of me. And to me, that's amazing. And I got a chance to sit in New York behind the best of the best. You know what I mean? Like whether it was engineers, producers, record folk, I learned a lot just sitting in the room while people were talking and, keeping your mouth shut while they're having meetings and learning about the business. You know what I mean? Like, this is a black art that's been passed down from generation to generation without a lot of,
no documentation. No documentation.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been in school now for almost 10 years. And I tell all the students the same thing. Like, well, you didn't go to school. I didn't. But it took me 5 years to get where you're getting when you're done. 6 years. Because I didn't have someone saying, look, just follow this path because it's a lot quicker. And that's what education gets you.
That's what it gets you.
A lot faster than that. Can you learn the same thing without it? Absolutely. 100% sure. And then you got to go around all those little pitfalls and things like I went through. And it's a pain in the neck. And I want to go out on the internet.
Yeah, and you don't want to do that because I didn't get paid for a long time. And you seem like you want to get paid because you're impatient. With your, you know what I'm saying? You ain't ready for this. You don't want this smoke. Yeah. All right, y'all. Look, we'll be right back, and we'll find out about the really interesting stuff from Carl Nappa. Don't leave. Or better yet, just hang out. We'll be right back. Ball's Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition with 2 locations to better serve you. We thank all of you for continuing to support us during these trying times. Now more than ever, we know how far our perfectly seasoned fried chicken, fish, or seafood will go to satisfy your cravings or just give you a little comfort. We are serving all of our menu classics to go until we get the all clear. So call ahead or stop by our Enterprise Boulevard and Common Street locations and get the taste you crave. Ball's Fried Chicken, a Lake Charles tradition.
Hey everyone, I'm Dee Dee McKinley from Christian World. I just wanted to invite you to join us online for our services each Sunday at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. We have a powerful time of worship followed by an encouraging message from Pastors Jerry and Hope Snyder. You can watch on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, or on our website at christianworld.cc.
I understand that we had a deep connection, yeah. And I appreciate the love and the care. But right now you've got to let me leave.
Yes, indeed. We back. Got my boy Carl Nappa, living in St. Louis by way of Boston and New York City, with a stint in Miami and touring around the world and being just like super duper cool dude. And and just to put this out there, and we'll get back to talking Rick stuff. So he's got 79 million records sold, 39 multi-platinum gold and diamond and all the good stuff albums. And it took a little old dude from Lake Charles, Louisiana, playing some Creole rock and soul / Zydeco music for all the people that's in Louisiana and understand what it is, to get the nomination, to get him to the Grammys, baby. Let me put it back on. But anyway, but I digress.
Possibly with some nominations earlier on that, because of credits, I never received a nomination.
There you go. And we don't want to get too deep into that, but that is a thing in the industry about people who've worked on projects and they've not been given proper credit to the people. But that's one thing that the Recording Academy is working on. The Recording Academy, for those of you who don't know, is the Grammys. That's one of the things that the Grammys are working on to advocate for artists' rights and musicians' rights and creatives' rights. And so Carl's worked on buku of them, and so we're gonna start talking about some of those now on our last segment here. So they asking you a question? You watching? Is that what you looking at? You're like, I thought somebody was coming, because this is a real. He has an active studio that's work is going on right now. So if you're in the St. Louis, if you're in the St. Louis area and you need some stuff, hey, he's gonna be tagged in the header. So y'all get with him, get some, put that work in there. He ain't cheap, but what you gonna get is gonna be worldwide quality.
You can be faithful.
You get what? Wait. You
can go get it cheap, but you're going to come back eventually. Get it done right.
You just keep dropping them. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that in the studio you were at, the Hit Factory, that the engineers weren't really trying to do hip hop music and stuff like that, and R&B. They weren't trying to fool with it, and you were like, "Hey, I'll do it," And so you start doing that stuff, and so that's how you got hooked up with Nelly.
No. Kind of, but
kind of enough. Okay, sweet. So
it's not like they didn't want to do it, but that's all they.
No. It's a preference. Yeah, it's a preference. I got this stuff that I'm really good at. I don't want to go step out and try to do something that I don't really know nothing about, and work with that while I could be making my money here. Basically,
I wouldn't even say it was that. It was just something that you're always doing. Like if you're always making one type of record, you're always like, well. Wouldn't it be fun to be able to loud guitar?
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them.
Even people in this industry. Like I know a lot of engineers and producers who get pigeonholed in a genre, and they're like, man, I wish I could do that.
Right.
And I'm always like, well, I do all of this, but that's a downfall because in our industry they want to pigeonhole you like, oh, he's the guy we call for this.
Right. He's the guy.
You know what I mean? Instead of the guy that we call for this, and this. And
he's the guy. Yeah, okay. Sweet. Okay, so now, so at this point in your career, you're doing the thing, you're working, and so you got, how does the Nelly thing happen?
So I've been in New York for quite some time, and in the course of being in the studio, you meet different people, right? Whether they're an engineer, an AR guy, another whatever. And there was this dude who kept coming into the Hit Factory to do projects. A guy named Kevin Law, who's an A&R, artist and repertoire, which it stands for. So he's a liaison between an artist and the record company. And he did a lot of work at the Hit Factory. He was using this guy named Rich Favalli at the time, who was a pretty world-renowned mixer. And we just kind of hit it off. And I would see Kevin all the time. But our schedules could never work out. If I was on a record, he might ask for something, sorry, I can't do it. Or if I was in between stuff, I'd call him up, hey, got any work? Not have anything. And then one day, he hit me up for something. What the heck was it? I think it was They were just wrapping up the Nelly record, which was Nellyville. And one of his, so Nelly has a group called the St. Lunatics, which is a rap group. And one of the guys in the record, in that label, or that band, was finishing up his solo record, so they needed someone to just do some recording for Ali. And that's one of the first sessions I did, and it was in New York. And then so when they would come to New York, Kevin would hire me to do sessions with those guys, stuff like that. And they liked me. Called me up one day, hey, you want to go to Atlanta with me to record another Lunatics, Murphy Lee, his first solo record. So I went down there for a couple of weeks, and we recorded at Stankonia, which was the belonged to the Outcast, right?
Yep.
Those guys, and a beautiful studio in Atlanta, and we did Murph's record. And a funny story with that is that at the last night of recording, Kevin wasn't feeling good. So we worked nights. Let's be honest. We started 5 or 7 o'clock at night and go till at least 5 or 7 or 8 in the morning, right? Kevin was feeling ill, so he goes, "Hey, I'm going to go back to the hotel. We're already packed, because I knew we'd be like leaving the studio, going right to the airport." And he goes, "I'll just swoop down and grab you in the morning, because I still had to back up my drives, clean up, and pack up my microphone. I think we brought a microphone. I don't remember back then. I doubt it. I think we used one of theirs. But I still had some work to do, right?
You had to pack up.
And just to get to the airport, meaning like, I know I had an 11 o'clock flight, and I worked backwards. Okay, I got to be at the airport at 10. We have to leave the studio at 9. So even if we finish at 7, I still have to back up my hard drives, and what's the sense? So at the end of the session, I'm starting to back up, and I see 3 people starting to walk over to me. And it's Nelly, Murphy Lee, and Ali. And remember, I've met them a couple times. This is the first time in 2 weeks that we worked together. I'm still an outsider.
Right.
And Nelly goes, look, I need a CD. He needs a CD, and he needs a CD. Now, before Kevin left, he said no CDs. Didn't want anything to get leaked. And, hey, he's the guy paying the bill, no problem. So I'm backing up, and I go, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to give out any CDs. And it was like, you ever been in a situation where you hear the record go, right?
Like,
And
I just told you we need 3 CDs.
Yeah. And it was like, not just those 3 guys in the control room, it was all of the Lunatics. Each lunatic had like a personal assistant. The probably was
20 people.
Bodyguard, plus the staff at the studio, plus their producers. And I'm just like, I'm the guy that said no. No one says no.
Right.
Not to Nelly. You got to remember, this is after Nellyville hit. So, not only was Country Grammar one of the biggest songs of 99, 2000. Now Nellyville's out and they're playing Hot in Here. It's like some of the biggest songs in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that says no. And he's like, what? I'm fucking Nelly, and that's Murphy Lee. It's his album. And he's the president of Dirty Entertainment. And I go, I know everybody is. I was told no. Calls the A&R guy, puts me on the phone. Kevin's like, yeah, give him CDs. Now, you would think that would have been the last time Carl worked with Dirty Entertainment, right? And I'm the guy that said no.
You guys said no. That's a good thing.
But I'm the guy who, no matter what pressure was on him, was the dude did his job.
Did his job. Did what he was told.
And that registered.
Mm-hmm.
So years later, when we were working together, someone inevitably would ask for a CD. And he would be like, yeah, of course you can have a CD. Go ask Carl. Because he knew when they walked over, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't care who it was, Sean. I'm talking, it could have been the biggest celebrity that we're doing a duet with. Or, a collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I can make a cappella of your verse if you want to learn it, but it's copyrighted material. Universal owns this, and until it comes out on CD, or released, I can't give it out. It's unreleased. Now, would gladly send you a CD when it's done, and he didn't have to be the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? And it was a fantastic. But he also, in that early part, knew that I was trustworthy to be the guy that was
the biggest thing.
Yeah. Now, was he pissed? Fuck yeah, he's pissed.
Yeah, he was pissed. I'm Nelly, fool. It's hot in here. It's about to get real hot in her.
Everybody got up. Was like, what? Who's this dude?
Because I got my Air Force Ones and I got my people.
Yeah. Oh, my deep. After that, we did with that camp. It was that record, and then we did what the heck did we do? I forget when it was. The Reinvention record was in there somewhere. I think that was next. I don't remember.
So basically, after there's the first two or the first one.
Nelly's first two records was Out Me, and then everything after that I did.
Everything after that you came from you. Anything Nelly produced or did.
Recording wise, I recorded everything on the Reinvention record, everything on Murphy's Law, everything on. When I say everything, mostly vocals, right? Because a lot of that stuff was sent in by producers and
yeah.
All the vocal, and then we did Reinvention. I said that Sweatsuit, which we did in LA over the course of 7 months. It was a double record. Nelly put out 2 records on the same day. One was called Sweat and one was called Suit.
Yeah, I remember that.
And those went not to brag or anything, but I think I'm pretty sure I know went number 1 and number 2 on the same day.
Pretty sure you're bragging too. So yeah, that's cool.
Second time in history. First time was Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion. Nelly was the second one. Phenomenal.
And the thing is, and just so you know, people, because their people didn't enter it in the Grammys, right?
Yeah, I was a Grammy member back then, but I didn't understand the process.
Right.
So I didn't know that a member could put something in.
Exactly.
I thought
you could have been the hero. You'd have had like Grammys and nominations, but then you never would have met me. So
true. It's all good. But it shows you one thing. It's education. Yep. I didn't know. I was uneducated.
It's level, and his people weren't concerned about it. And his people weren't concerned about that either.
But you know what, Sean? It's also my fault because I didn't take an active role in being a member. Not going to get on my high horse for a second.
No, really, real talk.
And I just wanted to say I'm a member, and I voted, and I thought that was what it was about. And it took me years later when I met Reed and all of you guys at the Memphis chapter to show me what really being a member entails. Do you know what I'm saying? And I look back at like, wow, I really messed up. Think of how we met each other and how your circle has expanded because you've taken an active role.
Oh, dude.
New York could have been so much more different. It was also a different world back then, but
still, you would have been at the top of it because you were the guy that did all Nelly's stuff.
Yeah. And people ask me, like, what do I get for my $100?
Yeah.
You get a lot.
You get a lot.
Give.
Look. Here we go. This advertisement brought to you by the Recording Academy, the Memphis chapter.
Yeah. And that's where I met you. I met you in the Memphis chapter.
That's right,
you
man.
You slept up from Lake Charles.
Yep.
And I slept all the way down from St. Louis. We met in the middle, and all of a sudden I'm like, this guy's kind of cool. What's up?
Yep, off top.
Cool. How you doing?
Off top. What's up, dog? Man, just chilling. I mean, he's like, I'm just chilling. What's up? Yeah, I'm just chilling too.
Right?
Yep, I'm doing my job as making y'all feel comfortable because y'all are new people on the board, And I was like, okay, I like this dude. We gonna get along. I think I might even said that. Me and you gonna get along, bro.
The thing I remember the most, and it's probably inappropriate, but we did a meeting down in Memphis, and we went out to dinner with Reed Wick, which is our chapter, works for the chapter, our liaison, and John, right, our executive director.
Executive director, yep.
And after dinner, was Boo there at the dinner with us?
Probably.
And then after dinner,
he's like, event though, what you talking about?
I want to meet you. You guys got to come out to this place. One of my bands is playing. So Boo told us to come out. Boo
Yes, Boo. That was Boo. That's how we got there.
Yeah. And me and you, like two little, dudes.
Let's go.
We don't know our way around Memphis.
We ain't got nothing to do with sleep, and we don't like to sleep too much, so let's go.
Driving around like, you think that's the place? I don't know. We park, we walk over, and the guy's like, can I help you? A doorman. And like, yeah, we're supposed to meet somebody here. And he's like, Boo? And we're like, what? Like,
how'd you know?
Yeah, he called up. He said there's going to be a black dude and a big fucking Italian guy coming to say, looking for me. Let them in. Like, what the hell is going on down here?
Yep.
We stayed there damn there all night listening to those bands.
Yep.
The band showed up at 11 o'clock that night?
They showed up late. Is all I did. I was like, man, what kind of gig is this? but people were into it. They were killing it, and it was cool. So okay, so now since we run out of time because you got somewhere to go, got somewhere to be, and I want to make sure we maximize your time. So tell me, okay, first of all, tell me a funny Nelly story that you can tell me. Tell me a cool / funny / Nelly story that or recording story with Nelly that you could tell first. Yeah, do that. Okay, can't tell any. Okay, sweet. So
I mean, you got to remember, there's 10 years plus of history there. I mean, there's so many stories.
Yeah, one that you can tell because the ones me and you talk about, we can't tell those.
So there would always be a part of the session when, typically when I moved out here to work with him, I built him a studio at his corporate offices, and we worked every day for 3 years straight. And I would, you talk about being methodical and having to know where your songs are. At any given time, I might have had 1,000 songs on a hard drive. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Between the Lunatics, who was dating Shani at the time. We had 2 or 3 artists that were signed to Dirty Entertainment, and I had songs everywhere. But everything was very cataloged, and it would always be like 3 a.m. He'd be like, "Man, put on my country song." And we had this one beat that this local producer had sent in, and a guy named Coco from Basement Beats. And it was just this guitar-driven beat, and he would go out there in the booth and just freestyle some lyrics and fool around, and he just kept saying over and over again, and with the voice and everything. I'm like, dude, you should be a country star. And he's laughing, da 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 da. And one day we're in LA making Sweatsuit, and he goes, "You got that country beat on you?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do." I put it on, and he goes, "I played basketball with this guy named Tim McGraw. I think it'd be kind of cool to do a song with him." And that's how that over and over again came out. Like he had been writing that for a year or something silly.
Yeah.
I forget how long. And just adding a word here and adding a word there, and then Tim came in and he we showed him the chorus. He sang it, and that thing went huge.
It was huge, yeah.
And crossover thing, and showed that country and hip hop can live in the same.
Now country is hip hop.
Yeah.
But
It's right.
Country is hip hop now.
Yeah, it's all pop music, right?
It's all pop music. But anyway, so that's a really cool story. Now, so I'm gonna say names and tell me a quick story. This is gonna be the fire round, okay?
Yeah.
Prince.
I worked on some radio commercials for Emancipation. He came into the Hit Factory, and he's sitting in the back of the control room with this big thing over his head, like one of those coats with the fur. And there's people running all over the control room, setting stuff up. He's just sitting there, and I'm like, holy smokes, what the hell's going on? I'm a huge Prince fan. And all of a sudden, the last guy walks out, his bodyguard walks out of the room, working in Studio One, which was made for orchestras. So you could fit 30 people in the control room. This dude stands up, throws his jacket back, goes, "Okay, this is what we're doing. I gotta do this, take this thing, fly it in here, put this, we're gonna do this vocal. This girl's coming in, she's gonna talk on it. I'm just like, holy shit, let's go." He goes, "I want the microphone in the control room. I'm going to sing in here. I'm going to talk in here." Okay. Put the mic, a big, beautiful C12 in the control room, get it all set up. And he goes, "Wait outside. I recorded myself." I was engineering. I was like, "Okay, but how am I going to know when you need me?" "Oh, you'll know." And don't you know, Sean, I'm sitting there thinking, okay.
Yeah, tell that because that freaked me. There's so many stories that people tell like that, so tell that.
Something in my mind said, open the door. Now, I'm in a soundproof room. We're in New York City, where orchestras can be recorded. There could never be a leak into that room because you would ruin a take, right?
Right.
Even the control room. And something in my soul told me, open the door. Okay, let's go get it. How? No idea. Unbelievable.
Wait. That's wild. So you just felt now.
Just felt time to come in. I was scared as hell to open that door too.
I bet. How you gonna, you'll know. And he didn't smile either. He didn't smile, right?
I don't remember. It might have been a little sinister smile, like, you'll know.
You'll know. He's like, oh, ah. So Carl's sitting in a soundproof room Just waiting.
Outside of a soundproof room.
Oh, outside of a
He's in
soundproof.
the control room. I'm just outside. I'm in the lounge, like by the door, like waiting.
Okay.
Like it's something. He's gonna come out.
Right.
So told me to open that door.
Wow, that's crazy. I love Prince too, man, but that's crazy. That's some other world type stuff right there, bro. Some other world type stuff. Okay, so Michael Jackson. Tell me how that happened.
I was an assistant engineer, right? I'm fresh in the studio, fresh at the Hit Factory, maybe 3 months. And Michael was working on History Record.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 2 or 3 rooms in the new building out of 5 booked for himself. And he brought Teddy Riley up from Virginia Beach. And so Teddy would only come if there's one room at the Hit Factory had a bigger console, more outboard gear, a bedroom, a lounge, a secondary recording room. And in the course of a week and a half, the studio built a bedroom, its own bathroom, I believe, a lounge, a secondary recording room, and expanded the console from 72 to 80 inputs, I think it was. I mean, literally added a whole new bucket to a console, rewired the whole room, and we worked every day for 3 months in that room with Teddy doing Michael stuff, and he actually was so busy he booked the studio next door to him, and they worked on Rex and Effects, Tom Jones, everything Teddy was working on. And Teddy brought up this amazing group of guys, John Haynes, Sermon Guyan, who now is one of the biggest mixers in the world, Spragg Williams, who was like a co-producer. I could not understand a word this man said the first month. It was deep in Georgia accent. I mean, it was like really, really. I can't even do his accent. It was so deep. And by the end of the 3 months, people were like, what did he say? Well, he said, like, it's like we were just talking the same language. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, back then, I was so fresh in New York, I had to dumb down my accent.
Yeah.
Because I used to have the cows and the cars and that stuff, and people couldn't understand me. So I had to bring up my accent, and it was a good time. But yeah, every day for 3 months, my shift was 9 to 9 in the morning.
The Hopper. It's in the
9 at
Hopper.
night. Think about that. 9
at night
10 in the morning.
to 10 in the morning?
9.
9 to 9.
Yep. And then Gus came in. Gus Garces, who was an assistant, he came in at 9 in the morning, 9 at night. And let's be honest, my shift was the worst shift in the world.
Yes.
I was a new guy.
Yeah.
All hell would break loose at night. Because you got to remember, Teddy's back in town. Teddy Riley was originally from New York, moved to Virginia Beach, started New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
Head in the Boys, all that stuff. Michael Jackson with the Jam, that whole album.
Yeah.
He was a prolific writer.
Yeah.
And so he came back, everybody wanted to come say hi. So every celebrity would come by. I remember meeting the Fugees before they were the Fugees. It was these 3 young people sitting in the lounge. And I go to the other guy, who's that? That's the Fugees, man. Those guys are going to be huge. Oh, yeah, they will.
Wow.
It was amazing. And, great sessions and some pretty amazing times.
So that's crazy. So Teddy Riley's so huge that the Hit Factory, he says, I'm not going to come unless you have this, and this. And they make it all happen.
Come up. No, Michael Jackson was so huge. That Teddy was, I don't want to come up there. He didn't want to come. He had a beautiful studio in Virginia.
But look, but Teddy was so huge that he told Mike,
yeah,
I ain't coming.
I'm not coming. Unless you do all these things that he knows can't be done.
And then it gets done.
In less than 2 weeks.
In less than 2 weeks. And y'all don't understand. There's a whole bunch of restructuring and stuff that has to go on and do what he's talking about. It's basically like okay, you have a house and your living room is a certain way, and somebody comes and says, okay, check it out. I don't want to come to your house until you restructure your entire living room to look like what I want it to look like. And they do that in 2 weeks.
Take every wire out of it and put new ones in.
Take every board, every wall, they destroy your whole room.
No, they kept the acoustics. It was a beautiful sounding room.
Well, no, I'm talking about in somebody's living room. They'll take your whole big room, they'll destroy it and rebuild it in 2 weeks and look like it was that way forever.
They did a really good job too.
Yeah, and because it was a win-win for them too, because if that's what Teddy was demanding, then somebody else was going to be demanding it. Yeah. So then they could continue to get the big clients.
Especially with the bedroom, because then you could run 24 hours.
Yeah. And
so, there was always somebody working in that room during that project.
And you know what you skimmed over that I think people might have missed? You said you worked from 9 to 9.
Yeah.
And then somebody else came and worked from 9 to 9.
Yeah.
And Teddy was working 24/7.
Yeah, because sometimes he'd go home to the hotel, or he'd just stay in the room and then come back out. But there was an army of people. Like there was 3 engineers that he brought that cycled through the times, and then there was a couple of like Sprague, and I think there was another producer he brought up that would do like tracks and keyboard parts, and then they would do stuff, and he would say, "Oh, go do this and go do that," and it's Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And then after like a month, I think we brought a third assistant on to do like a swing shift. Because it was just a lot of work. Not so much just the studio side of things, but taking care of everybody. Remember, an assistant engineer's job isn't just taking care of the engineer. It's also making sure everybody around there gets what they want. And then everybody would come up there and order lunch or dinner or coffees. You're always making coffee. You're always running, getting.
So you were an assistant engineer at that point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work.
Yeah. So just to give people an understanding, Teddy was basically producing everything that came out in that area in that one period of time, basically. Michael Jackson and all of his projects, right?
On that record, I'm not sure how much stuff that we did.
Well, you said they had the Next Door thing that was going on where he was doing his stuff.
They had his in our building. We had Michael in Studio D, and then Teddy had his own setup in Studio C, where he was bringing in his artists. So he's going between the 2 rooms.
Yeah, and he's
but
juggling.
down the street, like Michael had all 5 rooms going. There's different producers in each room. They'd be doing like an orchestra in one room, or they'd be doing vocals here, and they'd have someone mixing. Bruce would be mixing, and it's an amazing setup. To see that, it was like an army at work. It was a huge production going on. And in that building, I think they had 3 or 4 assistants working around the clock and stuff. I mean, at one point, everybody at the Hit Factory was on that session at some point.
That's crazy.
It was incredible.
That's incredibly crazy to have this, like, just think about it, and then you get a CD, a disc, an album, or whatever you bought at the time, and you listen to it, and to have so many people listen to it and dismiss it.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah. So do you know what went into making this?
That was a year.
Do you know what went into making this?
I don't know how long they spent when they went back to LA.
Yeah. Just creating it took a year. Then they had to go and mix it and put everything together.
They were mixing as they went. So
Okay.
Remember, a lot of that stuff was remastered versions of some of the old songs and with new songs too.
Yeah. Okay. So the Michael thing was that was Michael and Teddy Riley and the Fugees and every other star who's coming to see those 2 cats. That's an awesome experience. And now, last but definitely not least, Stevie Wonder, because that was the surprise one, right?
That was a surprise one.
So talk about that, and then we'll.
So that was one of the things when I'm transitioning from assistant to engineer. Like I said, there comes a point when you want to do the next thing. I wanted to get to New York and assist there, and I was done, and I knew I wanted an engineer, and I had met this producer engineer who really made an impact on my life as well, a guy named Jerry Brown. And I used to love working with him. And when I was doing my own productions or my own engineering, he'd swing by and jump in and like, "What are you doing? Listen, you need this piece of gear." He'd give me something to use out of his arsenal. And then I had a night off. I just worked all day. I knew I had the night off, and I'm literally walking into this restaurant with my wife at the time, Annie, and we're going to get some Italian food, right? It was literally a half a block from our house, or our park, I should say.
And you finally get to go eat with your wife. Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Finally.
And we had beepers back then, not even cell phones, right? So my pager goes off, and it's the studio number. So I go, don't go in, hold on. So I go to the payphone, which were these telephones that were in the middle of the road that you put a quarter in, and you could actually call somebody, not on your lip, right? So I call, and they're like, "You got to get here now." What? There's no one else. I need you for this session. You have to get in now. I'm walking into dinner. I'm sorry. Get in a cab. I'll pay for the cab when you get here. This was the owner's daughter telling me to get in. She was the studio manager. Mm-hmm. So I go to tell Annie, "I'm sorry, we can't go." She's like, "Whatever." Goes home.
She's pissed. Like, whatever.
Yeah, no big deal. It's part of the course.
Mm-hmm.
While I was working at the Hit Factory, she was working at Condé Nast, the magazine company. So she dealt with. Do you ever see that movie? What do you call it? The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Those assistants. That's what my wife's job was. She was working in the marketing component of that. She was working all the time too. So we had these crazy schedules. So I get to the studio. The lady pays the cab, right? in the Hit Factory, the basement was where we kept all the microphones and our work orders. You had to have all the stuff, your ducks in a row. She goes, here's your work order. Just get upstairs. The session's starting in like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Not even time to fool around. And I'm pissed. So I get in the elevator, and there's Jerry, like floating. He's so happy. And he goes, I'm working with you tonight. I go, dude, trust me, don't talk to me, because we had to go 5 stories up. I go, don't talk to me till the 5th story.
So that's your assistant?
No, that's my engineer. I'm assisting.
You're assisting. Okay, cool.
And I go, don't talk to me. Like, I'm fucking pissed. I just had to leave my wife. I don't want to be here. No offense, but dude, by the time we get to those doors, I'm going to be the dude that you know. And he looks at me and he goes, you have no idea what we're doing tonight, do you? Jerry, don't fucking talk to me for 4 floors. He goes, Stevie Wonder's coming in. What the fuck? Like, you can't leave with that? Like, don't tell me, hey, can you get here right now? Stevie Wonder's coming?
Right.
Two of us are jumping off the ceilings. We get there, we set up this room with, like, a Wurlitzer piano in there, microphone in the control. Remember, this is that big control room I was talking about.
Yeah, the big one.
Everything's dimmed. And we spent the afternoon or the evening, it was at nighttime, recording these 2 songs that he had written for the Winans that he didn't want to forget before he got home. So he booked a studio session. And we had some stuff on tape. We transferred it to a digital tape, and we're in the control room. You know, Jerry's running the board and the mic pre, and I'm running tape. And back then it was a digital recorder, so it was a digital tape machine. And then Stevie goes, you know, when my hand is up, I'm out of record. When my hand goes down, punch me in. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there, and it's kind of far, right? Because there's a huge control room, and Jerry liked the vibe, so we had like dimmed. I think they had some candles, not candles, but those, what do we call those things? The thing bubbles up, whatever it is. You know,
lava lamps.
Some mood stuff. And I don't want to screw up, because it is one of my idols that I'm recording, right? And one of my mentors that I really look up to, his aesthetic, his engineering skills, his mixing skills, production skills. And at one point, Sean, because you had to hold down play and hit record to drop in, right?
Yep.
And then come out, you had to hit play. I'm watching his hand go up and down, and I'm doing these punches. And I literally, at one point, I'm like, who's punching? Like, this isn't, that's not me. And I had like this out-of-body experience. So I'm up high, looking down, I'm going, wow, that's some cool punches, right? So we clean up, we walk out, send him home, come back up to start breaking down, and Jerry pulls me aside and he goes, man, how did you do those punches? That was some fucking crazy shit he was telling you to do.
Yeah.
Jerry, I have no idea. It wasn't me. I go, I didn't want to screw up because it was Stevie Wonder, and I didn't want to screw up because it was you.
Yeah.
Punching. And it's just some of those times, like, you just hope that the muscle memory takes over, right? And, you know, you rise to the occasion. Like, there's someone better in the room than you. They make you better, right? And then I just rose to the occasion.
That's it, man. That's it. It's okay. That's your Stevie Wonder story. And right now, screenshot selfie. All right. So right now, getting your screens, because remember, I'm to your right. Remember, I'm to your right, right?
Yeah.
All right. So just we'll do a screenshot selfie. You ready? That's how you gonna do on the screen? Yeah. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I just want you to know where I am. We're doing a screenshot selfie, like we're doing a screenshot. Right. So if you want to lean to your right. You know what I'm saying? Be like, yeah, what's up, my boy? There you go.
Yeah.
All right, ready? Move to your left a little bit. There you go. Got your whole head now. All right, here we go. Done. All right, Carl. So, last but not least, need you to give the people a word to go out on, like a word of advice, because like I tell everybody every week, the music business is just like every other business, just like every other venture. You know, the principles stay the same. The application is the only thing that changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, some advice for an artist, an engineer, a producer, somebody out there who wants to get to the level that you got to, just give them some advice.
The best advice I can give anybody, and it sounds simple and it sounds silly, but it's something that I've lived my whole life doing, and it's just make great art. Because if you're not making great art, you could just be making a chair. And it doesn't mean anything. It's not going to resonate with somebody. It's not going to make someone want to ask for something, a song for their wedding, or playing something when their kid is born, or going through a rough patch in life and listening to someone's lyrics and things and music and stuff like that. That's art. And we might not be using a paintbrush or sculpting something, but the music that we put onto the computer now, and the way we sculpt it, and the way we do the things like that, and stress over a lyric or a melody and parts and stuff like that all go into the bigger thing, and just make great art. If you're making great art, people will hear it. Good songs go a long way, more than a good mix. You can polish a turd. I might need 2 little things for that one.
You just hit them with like 4 or 5 of them. Bang, 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 bang. All right, so Carl, so tell people how they can get in touch with you, man.
Just Carl Nappa. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Carl Nappa, one word?
Yep.
Okay,
and then, email is just very simple. carlnappa@gmail.com.
Boom. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, Carl Nappa, engineer extraordinaire, lifetime experiences, Recording Academy member, you know what I'm saying, my fellow Memphis chapter brother. He helped me engineer he engineered, he put the sauce on the 2-time Grammy nominated CD and the new one that's coming out on June 19th. And, my friend, my boy, my dude, Carl Nappa, thank you, man. And so your daughter's graduating today, right?
Yep, from Drexel University.
Awesome. So,
right.
Look, you enjoy that, man, and have fun. Tell Uncle Sean, say what's up, and congratulations. And y'all, we'll holler at y'all next time. We'll see y'all next week, all right? Carl Nappa, y'all.
All right, thanks everybody. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you for joining us at All Things Music. We really enjoyed your company. And don't forget to tune in next week when our guest is going to be Arcelius Swag Harris. Yes, indeed. He's the mega producer that produced with the artist Her. Yes, indeed. He's a Grammy Award winner. So come on next week, 7 p.m. Central Time. Tune in, and we're going to go backstage one more time. We'll holla All Things Music.